Open letter to His Excellency President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, GCFR, President of the Federal Government of Nigeria. Subject: urgent call for the reversal of the unlawful transfer of Barrister Mutiu Agboke as the Resident Electoral Commissioner for Osun State and the restoration of electoral integrity in the Southwest. He called for compulsory resignation of Ms. Toyin Babalola as Ondo State Resident Electoral Commissioner. Your Excellency, I write to you not as a member of your political party, but as a concerned Nigerian citizen who has observed with growing alarm series of administrative actions within the Independent National Electoral Commission (INEC) that threaten to undermine the very foundation of our electoral democracy. My focus is drawn specifically to the recent removal and transfer of Barrister Mutiu Agboke as the Resident Electoral Commissioner (REC) for Osun State and the inexplicable and constitutionally questionable appointment of one Mrs. Toyin Babalola as his replacement. I must begin by acknowledging towards institutional reform. However, Your Excellency, the manner in which these recent changes at INEC have been handled, specifically the action attributed to the INEC National Chairman, Professor Joash Ojo Amopitan, SAN, amount to a dangerous overreach that directly contradicts the earlier provision, that contradicts the clear provision of 1999 Constitution of the Federal Government of Nigeria as amended. I am compelled to bring this matter to you to your direct attention before they metamorphose into full-blown electoral crisis that could irreparably damage your prospects in the Southwest during the 2027 general election. The constitutional framework ignored. Your Excellency, permit me to remind us both of the sacred texts that govern our nation, the appointment, tenure, and removal of resident electoral commissioner are not matter of administrative conveniences or decision making by INEC chairman. The third schedule, part 1, item F, paragraph 2 of the 1999 Constitution as amended, read together with section 154 sub 1, is explicit. Resident Electoral Commissioner are appointed by the President of the Federal Republic and must be confirmed by the Senate. Furthermore, section 157(1) provides that a REC can only be removed by the President with the support of 2/3 majority of the Senate and only on ground of inability to discharge. What we have witnessed in the case of Barrister Mutiu Agboke is a fundamental violation of the constitutional architecture. Professor Joash Ojo Amopitan, SAN, does not possess the power to remove a REC. He never has. The chairman of INEC is a primus inter pares with the commission, not as an emperor with unilateral authority to transfer or dismiss commissioner appointed by the President and confirmed by the Senate. By acting on a petition, an uninvestigated or substantiated and outlandish petition written by the chairman of APC in Osun State, Professor Amopitan has overstepped his constitutional bound. He has in fact allowed partisan political actors to dictate the composition of electoral management personnel in the state where emotions are high and elections are imminent. Where is the committee investigation? Where are the terms of reference? Where is the evidence that Barrister Mutiu Agboke was given a fair hearing and opportunity to defend himself against this allegation? Your Excellency, there are no mere technicalities. These are the pillars of natural justice and constitutional governance. To remove a man from his post based on partisan petition without due process is to impugn his integrity, damage his reputation, and destroy the career of a public servant without a shred of proof. I challenge Professor Amopitan today to provide the evidence that Barrister Mutiu Agboke was afforded fair hearing. He cannot because such process do not occur. The case of Toyin Babalola, a fraudulent return. Your Excellency, the situation is made infinitely worse by the identity of the person who have been brought in to replace Barrister Mutiu Agboke in Osun State. Ms. Toyin Babalola is not a fresh peer of hand. She is a retired director of INEC. Let me be explicit. Mrs. Babalola retired from the legal department of INEC in 2023 alongside 9 other directors, having attained the statutory years of service and the prescribed retirement age. This information is a matter of public record and is published on INEC website. How then does a retired public officer, one who has already exited the system with full benefit, find their way back onto the Senate confirmation list as reg for the same institution which she retired from? This is not a secondment. This is not a consultancy. This is a fraudulent circumvention. This is a fraudulent circumvention of public service rule and the Constitution. Now, if retirement means nothing, if the statutory age limits are made suggestion, then what is the point of our civil service regulation? Mrs. Babalola has effectively plunged herself back into a system she legally exited. She had done so under the circumstance that demand an urgent investigation by your office and the anti-corruption agency. Your Excellency, I say this without fear of contradiction. Toyin Babalola is an embodiment of confusion and corruption. I have personal experience in this regard. I have pending case against her in the court arising from her conduct during her tenure as Director of Legal, INEC. She was the beginning, the middle, and the end of many problems within Labour Party. Due to her corrupt tendency, she has a track record of manipulation and unethical conduct. To place such a person in charge of an election in Osun State, a state with highly contested political landscape, is to invite disaster. It is to send a signal that the electoral process is for sale, that democracy can be murdered by the administration fiat. The people of Osun deserve to vote for whosoever they choose as their governor, free from the machination of compromised electoral officer. Mrs. Toyin Babalola is being positioned to perform a hatchet job, to act as a burnt offering on the altar of political manipulation. And you must not allow your name to be associated with such an enterprise. The dangerous precedent set by Professor Amopitan. Your Excellency, by removing a reg without presidential approval and without Senate confirmation of his removal, Professor George Ojo Amopitan, SN, has acted beyond the constitutional power. He has created a chilling precedent that any party chairman who writes a petition can have a reg removed. This is not governance, it is anarchy. The political calculus of 2027. Your Excellency, let me speak frankly to you as a citizen who, despite not being a member of your party, recognizes the developmental stride of your administration. The Southwest is your geopolitical zone. It is your own. I have no doubt that with fair and credible election, you can secure nothing less than 4 to 5 million votes from the Southwest in 2027 general election. However, issues like this, the blatant manipulation of reg posting, the imposition of retired and compliance officers like Toyin Babalola, the removal of a man without due process, this action will act as an impediment to your success. I therefore demand the following from Mr. President, sir. 1. Direct Professor George Amopitan to immediately return Barrister Mutiu Agboke to Osun State as the duly appointed resident electoral commissioner. His removal was unlawful, unconstitutional, and without due process. It must be reversed without delay. Secondly, remove Toyin Babalola from any role in Osun State or any other state. She should be returned to her retirement. The fact that she has managed to crack back into INEC as a rec after retiring as a director is a scandal that demands independent investigation. Who facilitated this? Who signed off her nomination? These are questions that must be answered. Third, I call on the Senate to exercise its oversight function. The confirmation of rec is not a rubber stamp. Fourth, I call on you, Mr. President, to issue a binding directive that no rec shall be transferred or removed within 90 days of any election except through full constitutional process outlined in section 157 sub 1, that is, by the President with a two-thirds majority of the Senate based on proven misconduct or inability to discharge functions. A final word to Toyin Babalola. Let it be known, Ms. Toyin Babalola, that your conduct will not be hidden. A petition will be submitted to all embassies in Nigeria, which include the United States, the United Kingdom, Canada, France, and Germany, detailing your issue of corruption, your questionable retirement and re-entry into INEC, and your current role as a potential saboteur of democracy in Osun State. The international community must know the kind of person being deployed to manage elections in Nigeria, and if you have any sense of decency, you will tender your resignation immediately. If not, the light of the public scrutiny will be shown on every corner of your career. Your Excellency, Nigerian democracy is a collective responsibility. It must be protected through the law, civic vigilance, and accountability. The lateral transfer of Barrister Muti Agboke, the deployment of Toyin Babalola to Osun State, failed every test of public confidence. They were carried out without published finding, without transparent investigation, and without clear operational necessity. They carried the stench of premeditated manipulation of the electoral process. Finally, do not allow Professor Amopetan to rubbish your name, Mr. President, sir, with that woman. Do not allow the APC to be painted as a party that rigged election through administrative coup. Remove Babalola, return Agboke, restore sanity to INEC. The people of Osun State should be left alone to vote for whosoever they want as their governor, free from meddling of compromised officials. That is the only path to credible election and peaceful 2027. This letter is copied to the Senate President of the Federal Government of Nigeria, to the Chief Justice, Federal Government of Nigeria, Professor George Amopetan, SN, INEC National Chairman, and to the embassies of the United States of America, United Kingdom, France, Canada, Germany, and all others, so that we'll be able to expose the rot that is going on in the INEC. Thank you all, and God bless. I don't know what Nigerian American Association they are doing. They were supposed to be going to offices so that they can get rid of people, who are suffering from something I would call physiological fantastica, an out of line, or something you call, mythomania. There's a lot of brain damage all around, and I think the people that purportedly, signed that statement, probably maybe they have dementia, and it's good for you even to respond to people, that have common sense in their head. You are in court of appeal just Tuesday. You argue a case, we argue a case. Federal court is not the final court in Nigeria. You say you are the national caretaker. You sue Abure as the national chairman of the party. All of us joined the court of appeal where Chibola Nebeko argued our case, and Dr. Kanu Agabi argued their own. Now, judgment has been reserved. They came out to say, we are, expel them. When you want to expel anybody, you must have the let me say, you must have what law called jurisdiction, to do such a thing. As far as we are concerned, she called herself national interim, but we on our own self, we had our convention last year. No, 2024, and we have our next meeting. Even we have the certified true copy of our next meeting, where we announce our congresses for December 2nd, December 4th, and December 6th. Now, what they were hiding, I will send it to Dayo now. INEC wrote letter to them that they do not have the power to dissolve even the existing state structures. Because when INEC has done a process, all of you know, by law, INEC on their own cannot invalidate it except the court. And no court in Nigeria has ever invalidated our state congresses. And this was the letter that INEC wrote to them on the 16th. I've sent it to this day, on the 16th of February, where INEC said, the commission regret to inform you that when they wrote to them that they want to do Congress and the 36 states of the Federation and FCT, INEC said your letter dated above subject matter on the 6th February 2026 and received on the 10th of February. The commission regret to inform you that they wrote it to caretaker chairman that the solution of state, local government, and well of your party in all the 36 states and FCT by the National Executive Council without giving statutory notice of meeting to commission and without the authority to act in your party constitution cannot be acceded to. That is what INEC wrote to them. The person who signed this thing was Dr. Ron Anthony, that's the secretary of the commission. What INEC is telling them is that in our constitution, we forbidden anything called caretaker. And Supreme Court is very clear. You must obey your party constitution first before you can even obey electoral act or obey the constitution of Nigeria. There is nothing like caretaker in the constitution. That is what INEC is pointing out to them that look, in your constitution, we do not have such role. And when they went to court, the woman went to court as national interim caretaker. We do not have such in our constitution. I don't know of any other party. And this was what we argue on Tuesday. Today is Thursday. Yes, on Tuesday before the Court of Appeal in Abuja here, that we do not even have this structure called interim caretaker. And our constitution is the basic, the first that any court, we listen to. And they themselves exhibited 2024 constitution. The one we did in December, in July, in Nineveh, that was the constitution they exhibited before the court. And that we also translated to Court of Appeal. We do not know anything by this name, national caretaker. So, you see, the woman is just, I think she is a little bit overjoyed, and that maybe they are referring to her as a chairman or nothing. But for us, they are just bunch of rabble rouser, going about with their political harakiri, and people like us, we are not just going to listen to them. Because listen to them, we are mounted to, Satan calling Jesus Christ, come and take Lord into your life. Come and take Lord into your life. No. They are the one that should come with a restitution. They cannot be asking us. They are the one that we have sent them out of the party. And at the end of the day, they want to come for restitution. Because we belong to the God side. They belong to the satanic side. So they should not even be talking about labor. So that is it. How can somebody say, oh, all of you, disciples of Jesus, come for restitution? This is not possible. They are condemned already, to wherever they are coming from. But we are holding the party, and that is why even yet on Tuesday, they refer to Abure as the national chairman of the party, even before in the Court of Appeal. And they refer to her as caretaker. But even after that, we are still proceeding to either party can still go to court, but we will end this matter again in Supreme Court. But we are very confident that they will be put back to their to their places, because we are not going to join issue with them. They can't prepare supper. And now
Abure is the chairman, and you are going to field candidates for elective positions.
We are doing, we are doing our registration, our member registration. We are doing it. Let me just tell you, Anna gave us code now. We are doing it. You know, when you have a matter like that from the federal court and you file,
INEC gave the Abure partner code
yes,
for registration.
of course, we are doing it. Now, you see, in law, you know, I'm open to saying, in law, when you file notice of appeal and motion for stay, the status quo is that you cannot take any step until when that matter has been decided. That was why even Mark, you know, you filed motion for stay before Supreme Court, which was set as I said, no, we are going to do the go back to federal court. Our is still there until when it is determined. So Abure still remains substantive. You cannot execute any judgment where the litigant is in receipt of motion for stay and court of appeal. I mean, on appeal, an appeal before once you have filed appeal, the Victoria Party cannot execute it. That is the decision of Supreme Court. That's why most of them they normally run away from me when we want to do interview, because I will come to the TV station with Constitution of Nigeria and with citation from Supreme Court, but you know they don't have anything. They are just these empty brain economies. It's not rocket science. How are you going to solve Nigeria? It's not rocket science. Everything is not rocket science. Give us a solution. They don't have any solution. Only rocket science. I don't know whether I want to go to the moon like America or we are going to the Pluto. I don't know for them. But for us, you know, we are ready. We are doing our registration, our membership. We are doing it. Because INEC gave us the code also, you know, for us to be doing it, because they don't know where the pendulum will swing. And you know, we cannot be shut out. Because if they don't give us, at the end of the day, the court of appeal now said as like different judgment. When are we going to start our own? Because this thing is time bound. You know, registration is process on May 10th. Primary process on May 31st. I mean, so no matter the party, everybody will go. But one thing, like I said, that all of us agree, except Nenadi. Let me say it here. Governor Lesoti and Abure, they have agreed to work for emergence of Tinubu for second term. Quote me. Governor Lesoti, I repeat, and Abure, we have agreed, but Nenadi wanted Obi. So that is, you know, the dividing factor between us. Nenadi insisted on bringing Obi back, and that was why Obi did not resign. I challenge any newspaper or television, give me video where Obi resigned from Labour Party. That guy is a political mascot. You will never know where it's going. You will never know where it's going. You just be moving like a game mascot. You know, when the mascot is moving around the track, you won't know who is there now. You just be moving and be waving people. Whether it's woman, whether it's man, you are not going to know. But you know, we are not a bunch of idiots. We are Pentagon in this politics. At the Penta, that's what it means. So nobody can come and use Wuru for us. Obi did not resign from Labour Party, so they know what they are doing. And all of you, I know you are there in that they are all. Where he said if they monetize their convention, I mean, is it their presidential primary? If they dollarize it, he said he will do what? He will leave. And that's why Kenneth came out on him. So Obi knew what he was doing. So Nenadi is just a woman Friday for Peter Obi in Labour Party, and we are not going to agree. But Governor Lesoti is in line with us, because there are no way we can produce a presidential candidate, you know, with all these issues. But Obi thought, you know, we are people we can push to the wall, so that let me go and gather people. I'm just telling you, he's on a voyage that will take him from Nigeria. He will just find himself in Burkina Faso.
Thank you.
The text of the press conference. Any question?
Let's take the ones that
Maybe except emphasis. Maybe you went through it in the text.
National Vice Chairman of the party.
Labour.
Yes, I saw a tweet where